keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jamison Euler. Today is Tuesday, October 8th.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay, and at this hour, we are under a weather impact alert for Hurricane Milton. As you're waking up, you now have less than 12 hours, really, to prepare.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get you out the door with your first forecast here with meteorologist Amanda Pappas. We have a hurricane update that, Amanda, should be coming out here at the top of the hour, or did it just come out?
It just came out, so that Tuesday 5 o'clock advisory here for you. What I want to say is that we're waking up to a weaker system. We do see that those wind speeds now sustained at 155 miles per hour. Previously last night, we saw this being historic. This system dropped about 50 millibars in just 10 hours yesterday, and we do see that this was the 5th lowest pressure all-time, 5th strongest storm that we have seen in the Atlantic Basin. The system right now is over towards the Yucatan Peninsula, bringing them life-threatening storm surge, rain, wind. The system now has started that initial turn towards the east-northeast at about 12 miles per hour. Now, the faster that system travels, that gives it less time over the open water, which is good news. However, the main key takeaway right now is that this system is undergoing an eye wall replacement. So that is why we're seeing it be weaker at this point. Pressure has come up to 924 millibars. So the main thing is this system is still far away. It's still a strong system overall. It's a Cat 4, and we do anticipate it to move over those open, warm Gulf waters. So that would mean that we have a Cat 5 on our hands later this afternoon, even later this morning. We could see that rapid intensification again. However, it'll interact with some wind shear, which is good news. So by the time we see that landfall, again, the landfall going to be late Wednesday, early Thursday, potentially right around midnight. That is when we could see it make landfall potentially as a Category 3, as it's supposed to weaken with that interaction with wind shear and some dry air. We're going to have to see how this impacts the system. But coming up, I'll talk about your impacts county by county and the exact track, all coming up. Jamison?
All right, thank you, Amanda. This morning, as thousands of you pack up and plan to move more inland today, FDOT and Governor Ron DeSantis suspending tolls all across the state so you can travel freely to get out of town. Here is the official list from FDOT for our area roads in the Tampa Bay region. Those roads include the Selman, the Veterans Expressway, Suncoast Parkway, and the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Tolls in the Orlando metro area are also suspended if you're heading in that direction. Tolls will resume Monday at noon. As we're here with traffic anchor Sarah Rosario. I-4 eastbound yesterday was a mess. Everybody's heading out of town on 75 North this morning. We already have backups.
Yeah, we have backups because of a crash. And so this is what we're seeing. Thankfully, the crash is moving off to the shoulder and drivers are able to get by. Still slow moving. But the good news is I-4 looks much better this morning. And the efforts that the Florida Department of Transportation taking to clear up the roadways, to make those tolls that no longer cost you money, those are all good things. So you still have time. If you're stressed out this morning, key is get out early, get out now while you can. You do have the time. So we're looking at some delays right now. If I-75 is along your route, you will see some slowdowns through Pasco. But after you go through this, you should be okay to get to where you need to go. We've got drivers who were spending what was supposed to be a 3-hour ride yesterday was taking 8 hours. So early now is the time to do it. Here's a look at these delays. We're seeing several miles here. I-75 northbound at State Road 54. Look at this. Our bridges up to speed. Looking great right now. And then taking a wider look at the area, you can see most of our Bay Area roads are clear. I'll be keeping you updated on this throughout the rest of the morning. Right now, let's give it back over to Nick with a...
A mandatory evacuation has been ordered. Please leave this area.
This morning, first responders for those in Manatee County are warning people in evacuation zones to leave now before it's too late. Already, we've seen the increase in traffic, as we just mentioned, on these major roads, and even an increased amount of passengers out at Tampa International Airport, all across our Tampa Bay area airports, just trying to get out ahead of the storm. And joining us live right now is 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Valturo. Nick, I know you've been on top of this now. You have a look at what you need to pack in your car as you get ready to evacuate the state. What can you tell us? Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. And like you just mentioned, I-75, I-4, I mean, they have been absolutely dead stop, jam-packed with people leaving the Tampa Bay area. We know mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders have been in place across Tampa Bay, and leaders here, both state and local, are urging people to get out before this hurricane hits. Now, if you're going to leave, you want to make sure you do have certain things with you. And there are some important items because we are going to be heading to Orlando ourselves. So we have our car packed with some of those essentials, right? You want to make sure you at least have a gallon of water per person in your family per day. So we wanted to make sure we loaded up these cases to make sure we were in firm supply of that, make sure you're staying hydrated. Another thing that's really good to have, just in case you don't have refrigeration, are these MRE meals. All you have to do is add this water and you have these instant meals ready to go. We also want to make sure we pack some different snacks, right? Just things to have on you on the road. So say you're going to be stuck in traffic. We're talking about all those backups. We have, a bunch of different snacks in here like yogurts, Nutri-Grain bars, even some tuna. Just things that you're able to take with you that can be able to give you some sustenance while you're out there. We also have coolers with us. We also have batteries, just because we know that power outages are going to be a big thing. You want to make sure you have batteries on you as well. And then as we go into the car, another thing, very important, have a first aid kit, some gauze, some bandages, some Band-Aids, just things you can be able to grab just in case you're in one of those situations where you need something on the go. And don't forget about your furry friends, your pets. Make sure you have pet food, baby food, and also plenty of toiletries with you as well. For right now, we're putting live in Tampa, Nick Voltero, 10 Tampa Bay.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, now is the time to prepare and evacuate if you are told to do so. It is a race against the clock right now. Many of you working to pick up debris left over from Helene that was just 12 days ago. And some of the state is still recovering from Ian's wrath 2 years ago.
Yeah, at this hour, we're already seeing highways clogged with people fleeing ahead of the storm.
Let's send it to live 10 Tampa Bay, our Jenny Dean. Jenny, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the roads are not quite as busy as they were yesterday afternoon when I went home, but we are seeing an increased amount of traffic for this early in the morning. We typically don't see that. I'm standing in front of Irwin Technical College here in Tampa. This is one of several special needs shelters. Already a number of cars here in the parking lot. People aren't taking any chances with this storm, and that's really what people are stressing and emergency officials are stressing, is that if you are going to evacuate, you need to get where you're going to be by today and then stay in that place and ride out the storm. And it's really just about helping each other out and helping your fellow Floridians, because we're all going to need each other on the other side of this. And, gas is one of those things. Nick and Bernie are on their way to Orlando. He was talking about all the things that they need for where they're going, but you need to get to that place and you need gas to get there. And so many people are concerned about the gas stations running out. We've seen several this morning where, they're all bagged up. There aren't any gas. So if you are looking to fill up your cars or generators, we can tell you that Governor DeSantis has told 10 Tampa Bay that fuel is continuing to arrive in Florida. The state had already collected hundreds of thousands of gallons of gas and diesel fuel, and they tell us that much more is on the way. Again, this morning, we're seeing some gas stations open. You're only going to be able to likely get premium gas. And for those of you wondering, if you don't normally use premium gas, it will not hurt your car. It's going to be a little more expensive, but you can use premium gas in your car to fill it up. Also, check with your generator as well. We've got a tool for you at 10tampabay.com. It's a link to Gas Buddy where they have a gas tracker, so they can kind of let you know where the best place to go that might be closest to you if you do need to get gas, because it would be a good idea to have whatever you're going to need to ride out the duration of this storm. So coming up ahead on 10 Tampa Bay at 5:30, we'll talk about if you have to go to a shelter and what you're going to need to take to that shelter, because there really are so many things. It's not that you just show up here and they take care of you. You also need to be able to take care of yourself while you shelter here. So we'll talk all about that on 10 Tampa Bay at 5:30. Live in Tampa, Jenny Dean, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Here's a live look at the Pinellas Bayway heading onto St. Pete Beach. This access point, as well as other bridges to the barrier islands, now closed to the public. Pinellas County deputies allowing residents, business owners, and debris operators. Rideshare services are also permitted to get people off the island right now. County leaders say access for everyone is going to close by tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, so keep that in mind. And across the county in St. Pete Beach, the city will turn off the sewage service later this morning. Officials say all sewage lines will be completely offline by noon. They tell us that this will help protect the city's infrastructure ahead of Hurricane Milton. While the service is off, you're not going to be able to flush toilets or use water utilities. And over in St. Pete, for you city leaders, warning that they may have to shut down the sewer system like they did with Helene, depending on the storm conditions, and this is going to be more widespread.
Yeah, this time they might have to shut off both the northeast and the southwest facilities. You see those areas highlighted right here behind me on this map in yellow and blue.
Our sewer treatment plants have not and cannot operate in that level of floodwater. So that means that we may need to shut down the northeast and southwest sewer treatment facilities in order to prevent further damage to those systems. The decision to shut down the facilities will be made closer to the storm's landfall once we have a better idea of where exactly the storm is headed.
And happening tonight, water across the island of Venice will be turned off. That includes water for the fire department to fight fires. The city saying it will also shut off the sewage system. The city expecting both systems, including power, to be off for several days. If you don't have enough bottled water, here's what you can do right now. Fill your bathtub with water. You can also fill any jugs, jars, glasses, and plastic bags with water. You can also fill your ice tray right now and use that water from the ice. But don't use the ice after the water system has been turned off. Sarasota County zones A and B are under evacuation orders.
Well, happening in less than 3 hours, we do expect an update from Governor Ron DeSantis on the state's preparedness ahead of this hurricane. The governor's update is happening at 7:45 this morning out of Tallahassee. Several state officials, including the Secretary of FDOT and Director of Highway Safety, do plan to join him there.
Closer to home, U.S. Senator Rick Scott will have a briefing down in Sarasota. The Republican will speak with local law enforcement and other local leaders about preparations. Mr. Scott will speak at 11:30 this morning. We will stream both his and the governor's briefings on the free 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Taking a live look at Hurricane Milton's track now, the path and radar this morning as the storm continues to move slowly across the Gulf of Mexico.
10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Amanda Pappas is tracking it with the latest track for you with this hurricane. We have a full update when we return.
Now I got it.
Hey, these are tough conditions. Case is going to finish the drive.
You got it.
Keenum, go time!
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
At Libman, we craft our cleaning tools here in the USA. No matter how big or small the mess, we'll help make your life happier, shinier, and a whole lot easier. Libman, family made in the USA since 1896.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature Stone inhibits the growth of mold and mildew and is unaffected by dampness, water backup, or even flooding. And only Nature Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall, get our locally sourced Erie Shore Stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional basement installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
What happened to no phones at the table?
Well, sorry, honey, it's a work thing.
Yep, work over here too. Got a text from Alan saying your business vehicle is now protected with Progressive.
Just like your home and auto. Why'd you text it? I thought that's what we were doing.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
These storms will impact your morning commute.
That's why it's so important to watch 10 Tampa Bay.
I'm going to continue to update you all throughout this morning.
Start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday morning as everybody's kind of in their final hours here of preparation.
Yeah, I think we can all agree it just feels different this time. Of course, we haven't seen a storm like this in our area tracking this way in more than 100 years, so in anybody's lifetime, and we are trying to track it every step of the way for you.
Every storm is different, 103 years. So we have a direct impact here in Tampa Bay right now with the line, with the brand new forecast cones. As you're waking up this morning, here's what you need to know. Yes, Hurricane Milton is weaker, of course, which is great news for right now. That pressure has come up. We see it's a Category 4 versus a Cat 5. However, this is only short term. It's interacting with some of that land from the Yucatan Peninsula and undergoing what we call eye wall replacement. So what does that mean? Well, it's when the hurricane, essentially when they're so strong, these tropical cyclones, they replace their eye wall, the smaller, weaker one, with a brand new, bigger and stronger one. So we will see this system then continue to push out into the Gulf. It'll re-strengthen into a Cat 5. However, down the line, we're going to hope that this vertical wind shear, it is set to help debilitate this storm and bring it right back down to a Cat 3 by the time it makes landfall. Now, what we do know is that since it is such a direct hit for us, the storm surge is going to be a major issue, especially just south of the eye. So we really need to take this seriously. Of course, you need to make sure that you are evacuating today. Today is the last day for you to evacuate and the final hours for the preps for your home. Of course, if you live in one of those high-rise buildings, making sure you assess your risk and figure out whether or not you want to leave, that needs to be done for today. So if you do see this right here, we are under a hurricane warning. We do anticipate this to have winds of 125 miles per hour as it makes landfall. And taking a little bit of a closer look at what the models are doing right now, they're starting to get closer together. They're getting in better agreement, of course, that we're going to see more of that direct impact here just to the south of Hillsborough and Pinellas County right now. So models, our two big house models, are going to be our American and European that we always use in any tropical season. And so the Euro has it a little farther south. Of course, the more south it goes, the less impacts we would feel. So we want to go with the Euro, and we're rooting for the Euro. However, the American brings it up a little farther north, which would mean more surge, more impacts for us. So we're analyzing that closely. Now, as it continues to push out into the Gulf, it has now made its first trek to the northeast. East-northeast at this time at about 155 mile per hour winds, moving to the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. So the faster it moves, the better off we'll be as well. But this is the latest forecast track updated as of 5 a.m. You can see that the greatest storm surge risk is going to be just near and south of that expected landfall. Again, this is life-threatening storm surge. This is potentially deadly, 10 to 15 feet. And this system already is historic. It is the 5th strongest hurricane we've ever had. Lowest pressure in the Atlantic basin of all of our hurricanes right here in Milton, just behind Rita and just ahead of Allen back in 1980 for those of you who can remember. So this is going to be a historic system any way that you look at it. And we know Hurricane Milton, the main impact or threat, of course, is going to be all the storm surge. And this is closer to where we're anticipating that landfall. So please just put your preps into place, evacuate now. Here are some of the local impacts that we expect. So you can see this is from Pinellas and Hillsborough. We're very close to that line right there of where the landfall will exactly be. When is the landfall? Late Wednesday into early Thursday. Now we do see the impacts. Winds 80 to 120 mile per hour winds. That's going to push up a ton of water. So the surge, 11 to 15 feet, 10 to 14 inches of rainfall. So please heed the evacuation orders. Know your zone. We do see that farther south as well. They're dealing with some of those similar impacts. And take a look at the timing of the landfall. We do see that this system bringing us bands of rain and wind starting Wednesday morning. So that's why I want you to finish everything up today. You don't want to be in and out of these rain bands. Let me tell you why. Because we have isolated tornadoes that'll be popping up in and out of these bands. And there'll be breaks. You'll see some breaks in the clouds and rain. But take a look at what time that landfall should be, right around midnight on Thursday. Keep that in mind, guys. Don't worry. We're going to be here all throughout the storm to keep you informed, prepared, and connected. But right now, I know a lot of people are getting out there, Sarah.
Yeah, right now is a good time to start hitting the roads. We do have some delays along I-75 because of an earlier crash. That crash off to the shoulder, traffic is starting to move. And once you're getting past Pasco County, if you're headed from Tampa up towards Pasco, that's where you're going to see some slowdowns. If you live in Pasco or Hernando or Citrus, go on and get on I-75 right now because traffic is okay for you. If your drive takes you along I-4 this morning, take a look. I-4 is looking great, a lot better than what it looked like yesterday. So maybe now's a good time to get out on the roads and get to where you need to go. Maybe head east and then try to head north once you get east, if that's an option for you, if you don't want to get caught up in this mess here along I-75. Everything else, though, is looking good. A lot of green on our map so far. Drive times across our bridges all up to speed so far, despite some slowdowns we're already seeing on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Jameson?
All right, thank you, Sarah. And if you need a ride to a shelter across Pinellas County, the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority is still offering free rides this morning, but the bus service will end at 2 this afternoon. There are 6 shelters for folks in evacuation zones A, B, and C from Palm Harbor all the way down to South St. Petersburg.
And you may still have preparations you need to finish right now. You'll find open sandbag locations and hours posted on our free 10 Tampa Bay app. You'll also find local shelters and other resources to help you get through this hurricane. 10 Tampa Bay is your hurricane headquarters, and this morning all eyes on the Gulf of Mexico and Hurricane Milton.
Meteorologist Amanda Pappas has another update on the storm and the rest of the tropics next.
As our community cleans up from Hurricane Helene, let us help answer your questions. From home repairs to food assistance and health needs. Visit 10tampabay.com/recovery today.
What happened to no phones at the table?
Sorry, honey, it's a work thing.
Yep, work over here too. Got a text from Alan saying your business vehicle is now protected with Progressive.
Just like your home and auto. Why'd you text it? I thought that's what we were doing.
Jamie, my apartment was robbed last night. If only Progressive had renter's insurance like their home insurance.
That way we could bundle our cars and get the same 24/7 protection.
Totally.
Totally is the best word ever.
Totally.
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 It's time for Kentucky's oldest festival since 1794, the October Court Day Festival in downtown Mount Sterling, October the 18th through the 21st. Over 500 vendors with handmade crafts, antiques, collectibles, and a huge selection of great food. Check out the live music Friday through Sunday on 2 stages, thanks to Community Trust Bank. Catch a free train ride on the Rumpke Court Day Express. Find out more at MountSterlingTourism.com and October Court Day Festival in Mount Sterling on Facebook. Kentucky, come see for yourself.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed.
The streets are being blocked off because of safety.
With live breaking news.
Turn yourself in now.
Prepared for the day ahead.
Good morning. We've got a mess out on the roads. Don't worry, though. We're going to get you around the backups.
And connected to possible changes. Make sure that you have a way to get alerts. I'm going to continue to follow these storms. I'm tracking them for you.
Weekday mornings, start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay starting at 5 a.m.
Good morning, guys. I have the latest on Hurricane Milton. We have that brand new advisory in. Now, For the moment being, the system, yes, as you're waking up, the major change, it is weaker. However, this is only for the short term. So what we see is going on is an eye wall replacement, and the system's interacting with the Yucatan Peninsula. That land interaction and that eye wall replacement at this point in time has let the system come down and weaken. 155 mile per hour winds right now, moving to the east and northeast. It has now started that turn to the east and northeast at 12 miles per hour, and that pressure has come up to 924 millibars. Right now, the system's still 560 miles away from southwest of Tampa, Florida at this point. So still 560 miles away from us. That means you have time this morning to get out. If you're thinking about evacuating, get out now. I cannot help you, and neither can the emergency responders. If you are stuck out there, you need to make those decisions for yourself and for your family. We want to keep you informed, prepared, and connected, and most of all safe, but you got to take these warnings seriously. Right now, we know that pressure 924, and we also see that as it moves back out into the Gulf, it's going to have a couple good things going for it. So the way that I see it is that we'll see this system intensify again to Cat 5 here in the next couple of hours. Why? It moves away from the land, it moves out into the open Gulf waters. In addition to that eye wall replacement, what does that even mean? I know you're hearing that word and you're like, what are you talking about? Eye wall replacement, we're talking that original eye wall, the most dangerous and deadly part of the storm, essentially, the structure of it, it's replacing itself. So the older, weaker eye wall gets replaced by a brand new, stronger one. So as it's undergoing the eye wall replacement cycle, which is what we see in these strong tropical systems, yes, it weakens in the short term, but that means that it strengthens once again. Here's one key piece of good news is that we do see vertical wind shear will come before it makes landfall, and that would help to debilitate the system back to 3 before making landfall. We do see that the models, right, they're all still getting into better agreement at this time, but this is the National Hurricane Center's forecast. Greatest storm surge again. The risk is going to be near and south of the expected landfall, which is us, of course. The model's still a little spread, but getting into much better agreement. Take a look. It's going to be moving out there in the Gulf. The faster it moves, the better off we're going to be. But guys, get ready for the bands of rain and wind starting on Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon. Isolated tornado threat, and here's the timing of that landfall, potentially midnight heading into Thursday.
All right, this morning, helping you stay connected with loved ones even when power and cell service are down.
How you can still make an important phone call in the eye of a hurricane.
And document now. Next, tips from insurance companies ahead of Milton, what you need to do whether you're evacuating or not.
10 Tampa Bay's Storm Recovery Special.
We're here to get you the help you need.
From insurance to FEMA, electrical, and more. Stream it today on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature Stone inhibits the growth of mold and mildew and is unaffected by dampness, water backup, or even flooding. And only Nature Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall, get our locally sourced Erie Shore stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional basement installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
I know. Do you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula. All right.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
We've got traffic backed up big time.
That's why it's so important to watch 10 Tampa Bay.
We're going to help you get to work on time this morning.
Start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
10 Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday morning here at Jamison Euler along with Caitlin Lockerbie. Just kind of getting set. We have a few hours left to kind of get prepared for this thing.
Yeah, today is the day to do that right now. Let's send things right over to meteorologist Amanda Pappas. We got the latest track at 5 o'clock this morning. We expect to hear from the governor a little later this morning around 7:45 as well. So we are updating you as you plan to prepare now.
Right now, Milton, what happens with it right now is that eye wall replacement is occurring, meaning that a new larger eye wall is going to replace the weaker older one. So for right now, while that process is occurring, yes, the system is weaker. At this point in time, we have winds at 155 miles per hour, and it is moving northeastward at about 12 miles per hour. However, that pressure has come up, and as we head into the next couple of hours, yes, it's a 4 for now, but look, it is anticipated to strengthen back into a 5. This is the latest cone from the National Hurricane Center for you to see. Now, it'll strengthen back to a 5, and then it'll interact with some wind shear before making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. So we do anticipate it to weaken before making landfall here in the Bay Area. But look, we need to take this seriously. The time to move is now. So if you need to get out, do so at this point. National Hurricane Forecast, you can see updated as of this morning that greatest storm surge risk is going to be near and south of that expected landfall, 10 to 15 feet. That's life-threatening. So getting you out on the roadways to help you evacuate right now is traffic anchor Sarah Rosario.
Yeah, good morning. Good news is if you want to get out ahead of the storm, now's the time. It is a good time to do so. We are seeing some delays for drivers headed north from Tampa through Pasco County because of an earlier crash near State Road 54. Maybe even take the Veterans Expressway over towards that area, get over towards 54, and try to find a way around it if you want to avoid that. But honestly, traffic is moving okay. You should be able to just sit it out for a couple of minutes, some slow-moving speeds, and then it's smooth sailing, what we're seeing right now. So we haven't really seen that in a while as far as smooth sailing goes on I-75 or portions of I-4. Florida Department of Transportation helping us out by suspending those tolls, also offering those shoulders as an option for drivers as well. You're going to see a lot more officers, a lot more state troopers on the roadways this morning. This is I-4. We haven't seen this on I-4, not at all yesterday, at least yesterday afternoon. Lots of people were stuck in traffic for hours along I-4. Okay, so here's the delays along I-75. 301's looking good, 98's looking good, 54's looking good, and then a wider look of our area. A lot of green still. Some slowdowns along the Selman Expressway through Tampa right now. That's about it. So everything else is looking good. Hopefully it stays that way. Caitlin, Jameson.
All right, thanks, Sarah. This morning, first responders urging you to leave now if you live in an evacuation zone.
Yeah, we certainly see an increase in traffic on our major roads and even an increased amount of passengers at TPA this morning. 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Voltoro joining us live from the road. And Nick, what's the traffic looking like right now for people who are looking to maybe get out the door and head out of town?
Yeah, you know, Jamison, Caitlin, good morning. And we know it's early, right? I mean, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I just want to give you a look at the roads because we're over here on I-4, and you can see right now, I mean, traffic is moving, but it's certainly not moving at a fast speed. And like Sarah mentioned before, we've seen a lot of state troopers out here on the road. You are able to utilize those shoulders as well on the highway to be able to get around. But the one thing you really do need to watch for if you're going to be taking that route is you have to watch for a lot of broken down vehicles, any debris that might be on the side of the road. When cars break down, you might have a tire on the side of the road. You might have some broken glass. There could be some rocks. So if you're navigating that, you want to be extremely careful. But what we have seen most of the morning as we're driving here on our way en route to Orlando is that there's been a very slow go. It's not like what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, traffic was backed up for hours. I have friends who also evacuated from the St. Pete area, told me it took 4.5 to 5 hours to get out to Orlando. So it was extremely slow. And even now at 5:30 in the morning, we're seeing traffic not moving at a very fast speed. It's a very steady speed, but even right now the roads are starting to get packed. So a lot of people are heeding those evacuation orders and getting out of town. And we're starting to see that out here on the roads as more and more people start to enter here on the highway. But that's the one thing you want to do, right? This is the time to prepare. This is the time to evacuate. So we all want to take and heed those evacuation orders very seriously, because we know that these roads are only going to get more and more crowded as more people start leaving town. Now, a lot of people did evacuate yesterday, and there's still time, of course, to be able to do that today. But as we see right now, as we get a little closer in the distance here on I-4, that traffic's starting to back up. So there are a lot of people out here on the roads, and it's still early. So if you want to get out and you don't want to be stuck in traffic all day and backed up for hours, so now really time to get out there, get in your car, make sure you have that emergency kit prepared and that you have all the tools that you need to be able to evacuate safely. So this is what we're seeing right now here out on the roads. And of course, we're going to try to keep you updated with what we're seeing with the latest right here on 10 Tampa Bay. For right now, reporting live from the road, Nick Volturo, 10 Tampa Bay.
Right, Nick, thank you so much there. And of course, Nick in the passenger seat, of course, but Bernie driving him to Orlando as Orlando area is going to get a good storm from this as well. And they have flooding issues there. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that, since so much of Tampa Bay is going to be over in Orlando to try to ride out this storm.
I know. Traffic is wild this morning, so just keep that in mind as you head out of town. Keeping you informed this morning on county closures across the Bay Area.
Yeah, and at last check in Hernando County, all non-essential county government operations are closed today as well as tomorrow. In Hillsborough, all county offices and facilities are closed today and Wednesday. The tax collector's office is closed now until Thursday. Trash and yard waste pickup is suspended today, expected to resume on Friday. And starting today, Hart buses will go on the emergency service schedule.
Now we have a county by county guide for you to closures, evacuation zones, so much more right now on 10tampabay.com, a great resource.
Now 5:36, if you've been waiting or wavering on your decision to evacuate, you need to make a decision today.
Yeah, emergency leaders say you should be in place if you plan to ride out the storm by this afternoon. 10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean joins us live from an emergency shelter in Tampa with more information on what options you have left right now.
Yeah, good morning, Jameson and Caitlin. This is really the final hours that you need to be making a decision. And at this point, your best bet would be friends that live nearby that are outside an evacuation zone that might be able to take you in. That's where you might be most comfortable. And then, of course, shelters. There are a number of shelters open in all of our counties. Here at Irwin Technical College, this one in particular is a special needs shelter. They have medical personnel that come here. People register to be able to get a space at these shelters because they know that they're going to need specialized care and electricity and a generator to be able to keep that care going. So that's one type of shelter that they have available here in Hillsborough County and in Tampa. There's a couple of those. Now, Hillsborough County has three basic types of shelter. They have the general population shelter, they have pet-friendly and special needs. A lot of these shelters can be multiple. It can be general population and pet-friendly. I believe this particular shelter also pet-friendly. So you also want to make sure you are bringing a cage or some sort of crate for your pet if you are bringing them to a shelter, because that is going to be important. There are 9 shelters currently open across the county, including the one that you're seeing in the video there at Durant High School. Now, in Pinellas County, we know that there are currently 6 shelters open. Several of them also are special needs shelters and are pet friendly. Now, we know we can't list for you live every shelter that's open. That's why we want you to have that resource at 10tampabay.com or download our free 10 Tampa Bay app. We have a running list of shelters in all of our Bay Area counties so that you know if you're waking up this morning and you're starting to get anxiety, you didn't think you wanted to evacuate, but now you're not so sure, go to that 10 Tampa Bay app, look at that list of shelters, make a decision this morning where you're going to go, and then get there by this afternoon. Talk to friends. If you haven't talked to friends that are outside of an evacuation zone, they can be your best source of shelter if you need to go somewhere in the last minute in these last hours. Caitlin?
Now, Jenny, a lot of people making those last minute decisions. What can they bring with them to that shelter?
Yeah, if you are going to a shelter, don't expect it to be hot meals and all kinds of drinks and entertainment. That is not what they're here for. It's literally an emergency shelter. It's a place for you to come. So you're going to need to bring your comfort items, your hygiene items. They also want you to bring enough water for yourself and your family, and food and snacks that you like to eat. They will have some things here, but that's really on you. If you're taking your pet, you need to bring the pet supplies that your pet's going to need, a crate for your pet as well. So we have an entire list of that for you also on our 10 Tampa Bay app. So when you go to look up those shelters, if you're planning to go to one, also look at the list of things that you need to bring. You may need to stop at the store. We're going to talk about stores that are open and what you might or might not be able to get at stores coming up on 10 Tampa Bay at 6 o'clock. Live in Tampa, Jenny Dean, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, thanks, Jenny. You want to keep all of your electronics charged, but in the face of severe weather, traditional communication networks, they can fail, leaving many people feeling isolated, even at risk.
However, if you own an iPhone 14 or later or a Google Pixel 9, go ahead and pick that phone up right now because we're going to give you some key information. You can harness the power of satellite technology to connect with emergency services or reach out to loved ones.
Yeah, I tried this myself this morning. In the face of severe weather, especially if you're riding this storm out, Wi-Fi, mobile networks, they can fail.
So go ahead and pull out your phone. If you own an iPhone 14 or later or a Google Pixel 9, you can get all of that help as you kind of harness that power with the technology there.
Satellite technology.
Yeah, satellite technology. What you want to do is you want to go to your settings and then scroll down to the emergency SOS, tap it, go down to emergency SOS via satellite, then click Try Demo. Follow the on-screen instructions to practice connecting your iPhone or that Google Pixel 9 to a satellite.
Yeah, if you have a Google Pixel 9, you can access the satellite SOS demo by clicking your phone setting, tapping Safety and Emergency under your settings, then clicking on Satellite SOS. Follow the demo instructions there. You can do it now. Google says Google Messages must be set as your default messaging app.
And right now, the city of Tampa is offering free garage parking for those who live in low-lying, flood-prone areas. The city says this significantly helps people who have an electric vehicle. You know, as we saw during Helene, if left unprotected, water can get into the car and cause a fire. The city suggests parking EVs in one of their free garages on the 3rd floor or higher. Upper-level parking will be available on a first-come, first-served basis for garages on Twig Street, the Tampa Convention Center, and several other locations. That will last through 5 p.m. this Thursday.
Well, just like the city of Tampa, St. Pete offering free garage parking if you live in low-lying, flood-prone areas. This is at the South Core Garage on 1st Avenue South. Entry starts now until tonight at 5 o'clock or until the lot is full, so you want to get there as soon as possible. Keep in mind, as of now, you do need to pick up your car by this Saturday at noon. And if you have not evacuated yet or need to know what to do after the storm, here are some last-minute safety and insurance tips from USAA. When it's safe, you want to photograph debris or destroyed items before having them removed or repaired. Save receipts for what you spend and submit to USAA adjuster for reimbursement consideration. As always, beware of contractors who ask for large amounts of money up front. Only go with someone who's licensed and insured. The company says it's already seen over 74,000 claims filed since Hurricane Helene. 10 Tampa Bay, here for you every step of the way. Download our free 10 Tampa Bay Plus on your favorite streaming device. That's where you can find all the resources available to prepare for Milton and the latest tracks from our weather team.
Also, you can download the 10 Tampa Bay app on your phone. You can still watch us live even after you lose power. Next here on 10 Tampa Bay, another lifeline for Floridians to get free rides to and from shelters.
And we're keeping an eye on Milton right now. 10 Tampa Bay, keeping you informed, prepared, and connected for every step of this storm. Another check of your forecast with meteorologist Amanda Pappas in just minutes.
Get the things you love without using credit. Acima Leasing makes it possible to shop at thousands of retailers with instant approval to lease up to $5,000 in furniture, appliances, electronics, tires, and so much more with flexible payments conveniently scheduled with your payday. Shop today with Acima Leasing.
Guess what? You could bring your phone to Metro and get one line with unlimited for $25 a month.
That's cool because I love my phone.
I'm sure it loves you back. And there are no activation fees when you join.
That's not a yada yada. I like it here better.
We have been here for centuries. Now, it's time for new beginnings. This is the new era of the Mexican Caribbean. Come to the paradise, to the world's signature paradise.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your garage flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature Stone corrects dangerous, cracked, uneven concrete and eliminates slippery puddles and standing water. And only Nature Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall only, get our locally sourced Erie Shore stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional garage installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Oh, relax. You have to say it at least 2 more times.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice in theaters now.
For the record, voiceover guys, 2/3 to blame here.
There's a place where mishaps don't mean missing out. Welcome to the plus side, where an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day, where a flat tire doesn't have to deflate your mood, and where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party. Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With a AAA Plus membership, you'll get the gold standard in expert roadside assistance when and where you need it.
It's time for Kentucky's oldest festival since 1794, the October Court Day Festival in downtown Mount Sterling, October the 18th through the 21st. Over 500 vendors with handmade crafts, antiques, collectibles, and a huge selection of great food. Check out the live music Friday through Sunday on 2 stages, thanks to Community Trust Bank. Catch a free train ride on the Rumpke Court Day Express. Find out more at MountSterlingTourism.com and October Court Day Festival in Mount Sterling on Facebook. Kentucky, come see for yourself.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
We've got traffic backed up big time.
That's why it's so important to watch 10 Tampa Bay.
We're going to help you get to work on time this morning.
Start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday morning here with meteorologist Amanda Pappas as folks are some just starting to wake up. There was a 5 a.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, we're here. We're going to be with you every single step of the way this morning. So I know it can be scary. I know that everyone's stressed. Right now is the time to evacuate if you're thinking about doing it, and to prepare. Those last-minute preparations need to be done by today. Why? Because we're going to start feeling the impacts from this system heading into tomorrow. So here's some stats for you. That's the latest track. You can see that track. The landfall just south of Pinellas County and Hillsborough County into Manatee, potentially Sarasota. So we could see a little bit of a wobble at this point, but it is a good idea. The models have a good handle on this. This is going to be a direct hit for Tampa Bay. And we have not seen a storm, this strong in about 103 years. So where's the system right now? Hurricane Milton is weaker as you're waking up this morning. That's the main thing you need to know. It's weaker right now. Why? Because it's undergoing an eye wall replacement. So the old weaker eye, right? The eye begins to weaken, so then you have a new eye that then replaces it. It takes the energy from the previous eye and it becomes larger and stronger. So yes, in the short term, the system is weakening right now, especially as it's interacting with some land here, the Yucatan Peninsula, but it's bringing them life-threatening storm surge, and the wind speeds right now at 155. The pressure has gone up, yes, but it has started its initial movement east-northeastward at 12 miles per hour. The faster it goes, the better off we'll be. It's still 560 miles away from us here in Tampa Bay, so you have time to leave, but now is the time to get out. We do see that the system is set to intensify back to Category 5 in the next couple of hours, so do not be surprised when that happens. It's going to strengthen because after that eye wall replacement, the new eye wall will be much larger and stronger once again. It's going to use those warm waters then to also widen the wind field, right? So the system will become bigger. Right now it's pretty compact and smaller as it's passing the Yucatan. It's going to become much larger as it pushes out into the Gulf. But here's the key piece of good news is that we have vertical wind shear. So by the time it tries to make landfall, this system will weaken to a 3. That still is going to be a major hurricane and a direct impact, so we got to get ready for it, guys. But we're going to get through this. 125-mile-per-hour winds, and as it passes over the peninsula, of course, it's cut off from its energy source. You guys know the drill. It's going to significantly weaken back to Category 1 and then push out into the open Atlantic. So here is that exact line one more time so you could see that exact location of landfall. The NHC thinking right now it could be right over towards portions of Manatee County, near Bradenton, Siesta Key, Sarasota, those areas. That's where we're going to see the worst amount of storm surge. It's going to be just near and south of the expected landfall, right? And that's 10 to 15 feet. That's double the storm surge we saw with Helene. So if you thought that storm was bad, this one's going to be historic, guys. So we got to get ready for the storm surge. We're here to keep you informed, prepared, connected, calm, and safe. Just do what you need to do today. Evacuate if you need to evacuate. Heed the orders. We do see that the models are showing us that they're getting in better agreement that landfall is going to be right here at home in the Bay Area. So the graph, our in-house model, has performed very well in terms of what this system has been doing. So here's what it's showing for Wednesday. Listen up. We want those preps done by the latest tonight. Why? Because 9 a.m. is when we start to see those bands of rain and wind really coming in from the system, right? This is where our isolated tornado threat will be. As the system continues to move closer and closer to us, take a look at 2 o'clock. You see there's actually an opening. That's typical. So you might see a little bit of a clearing and less of that rain because these bands of rain and wind are on again, off again. However, as we head into about 6 o'clock, that's when things really start to go downhill. So we see that closest approach is going to be right around 9 p.m. Landfall looking like midnight at this point on Thursday. So again, landfall late Wednesday, early Thursday. The system will be pushing inland. It'll be bringing us catastrophic flooding. And look at this wind field. It widens, and overall, the storm surge is going to be the biggest threat. So please just be careful. Make those necessary evacuations or precautions now. We're going to continue to keep you informed, prepared, connected, and safe. And now, speaking of which, is a good time to head out. Right, Sarah?
Yeah, now is a great time. If you're going to be driving, we do have some delays, miles, like 20 miles of delays along I-75 right now from Tampa into Pasco County. But once you're getting out of Pasco, things are looking better. So good news if you already live in Pasco or Hernando County, I'd say get on the roads now. This is from an earlier crash. It's not because so many people are out on the roads. Now it's compounded, right? Crash happens, everybody's trying to get out, and this is why we're seeing these delays. But if you're going to be driving, I would say now is the good time to do so just because you do have a little bit less people out on the roadways than what you normally would. So take a look at these delays we're seeing right now. This is just along 75 northbound. You can take 98 around it. You can take 301 from my friends through Pasco County to get to Dade City. Even 41 is a good option for you. Check out the rest of Tampa Bay area. We're looking good. Maybe take 674 over to 37, get to Lakeland, get to I-4. These are options for you to get around some of the mess we're seeing right now along 75. But the key is getting out now while you can. And the Florida Division of Emergency Management is partnering with Uber to help you get to where you need to go to and from shelters. All you need to do is open the Uber app, tap the account on the bottom right, and tap wallet. Then add promo code Milton Relief, all one word. You can find a list of state-approved shelters now on 10tampabay.com. Caitlin.
All right, ahead on 10 Tampa Bay, getting you prepared. The last call is today to get the supplies you need to prepare for this storm.
10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean joins us live at the top of the hour at 6 a.m. with what is open today and when area stores are going to close.
Plus, keeping you informed across the Tampa Bay area. 10 Tampa Bay's Adoria Chumba joining us as mandatory evacuations are underway in Sarasota and Manatee counties.
Get the things you love without using credit. Acima Leasing makes it possible to shop at thousands of retailers with instant approval to lease up to $5,000 in furniture, appliances, electronics, tires, and so much more. With flexible payments conveniently scheduled with your payday. Shop today with Acima Leasing.
Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Oh, relax. You have to say it at least 2 more times.
Beetlejuice in theaters now.
For the record, voiceover guys, 2/3 to blame here.
Bypass Rental and Hardware is where our customers demand the reliability only we can give them. Whether you need a post hole digger for a weekend project or a dozer to build your business, look no further. Family owned and operated, serving our customers with equipment rentals and sales, parts, and contractor supplies. Call Bypass Rental for all equipment needs. With stores in Winchester, Richmond, Georgetown, and Lexington, we are never too far from the job site.
It's time for Kentucky's oldest festival since 1794, the October Court Day Festival in downtown Mount Sterling, October the 18th through the 21st. Over 500 vendors with handmade crafts, antiques, collectibles, and a huge selection of great food. Check out the live music Friday through Sunday on 2 stages, thanks to Community Trust Bank. Catch a free train ride on the Rumpke Court Day Express. Find out more at MountSterlingTourism.com and October Court Day Festival in Mount Sterling on Facebook. Kentucky, come see for yourself.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed.
The streets are being blocked off because of safety.
With live breaking news.
Turn yourself in now.
Prepared for the day ahead.
Good morning. We've got a mess out on the roads. Don't worry, though. We're going to get you around the backups.
And connected to possible changes. Make sure that you have a way to get alerts. I'm going to continue to follow these storms. I'm tracking them for you.
Weekday mornings, start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay starting at 5 a.m.
Welcome back. Time now 5:56. Mandatory evacuations are underway for residents in Manatee and Sarasota counties.
10 Tampa Bay's Adoria Chumba is in Siesta Key.
County officials throughout the area, including Manatee County and right here in Sarasota, issuing evacuation orders. They want everyone to be ready for Hurricane Milton. And right now, their primary assignment is trying to get all of this remaining debris from Hurricane Helene out of the way and into a landfill.
About to happen again.
All hands are on deck, clearing out what seems like endless piles of debris throughout Sarasota. And for many here, it's a race against time.
Well, we got to about 2 o'clock to try to get as much done as possible. That way the debris doesn't fly all over the place and cause more damage to the area.
Break all of our windows, break all our doors, become missiles.
As homeowners and business owners all board up, officials issuing mandatory evacuation orders for zones A and B. They say folks in mobile and manufactured homes, flood zones, coastal communities, and low-lying areas all need to get out of Milton's way.
If you are on a barrier island or anywhere near that level A, near the coastline, you will not survive this storm surge. And it is imperative that you evacuate.
40, 45 mile an hour winds start to hit. Those first responders are coming off of the road. We're not going to be able to break into your door when the water is 8 feet high and get you out of there in the middle of the storm. It's not going to happen.
And seeing how the destruction from Hurricane Helene impacted the area, leaving many buildings vulnerable, there are now concerns Hurricane Milton is here to finish the job.
We're a little worried.
On a scale 1 to 10, 10. Pretty bad. So we're going to be out here as long as we can, doing what we can.
Ready to get all this out of here, and then probably have to do it again after this next one.
And for those residents in Zone C, they're being asked to stand by and be prepared in case of an evacuation if the need arises. Now, those who are not in any evacuation zone are reminded to get enough sandbags. Now, for those folks who are still dropping off their debris, well, the central landfill is going to be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday. In Sarasota County, Adoria Chumba, 10 Tampa Bay.
And in Manatee County, government offices are closed now until Friday. All county parks are closed until further notice.
keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
And good morning. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Jamison Euler.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. It's Tuesday, October 8th. Let's get a first look at your forecast right now. All eyes on this storm track. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas watching it every step of the way.
So right now we're focused in on what we call eye wall replacement. So we've been talking about it this morning. The system, yes, is weaker for right now. However, it's because it's undergoing this process. What is eye wall replacement? Well, it means that the previous eye wall, right? It was weakening. As it weakens, that the system right here is trying to now replace it with a new eye wall. So a new eye wall is emerging. We'll get a new area of that low. We'll have that new eye wall be stronger and even larger as well, replacing that old eye wall. So as this process is going on and it's interacting with the land, the positive news is that yes, it's weaker for right now with those wind speeds at 155 miles per hour. Pressure has gone up, which means that it's weaker as well, 924 millibars. Now, we saw this was the 5th lowest pressure of any system. It is smaller and it's compact, but it is mighty, Milton. But what we do know is that as it pushes out into the Gulf of Mexico, that wind field, right, is going to now strengthen. It's going to become wider. But the one key piece of good news I want to end on for right now, at least, is that we know wind shear will knock this system and weaken it back down to 3 by the time it makes landfall. I'll talk about that exact location of landfall, but right now is the time to evacuate. And speaking of which, let's get you outside right now. I know Caitlin and Sarah covering it.
All right, thanks, Amanda. And Sarah Rosario with us right now watching the roadways. We know so many people are trying to get out of Dodge and heed this evacuation order. Take a look at the traffic that's building right now. I know a lot of you have a question about gas, trying to find it before you leave, and it's a struggle for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, yesterday I was out and about trying to find gas. Thankfully, I did. My husband, not so lucky. We were too busy trying to get the house ready. I mean, up at 2 o'clock this morning trying to find gas, was not able to find any. So we're going to be getting out, later on today to make sure he can get gas and get out ahead of it. But there are some tools on our website, 10tampabay.com, for you to look at. Gasbuddy.com has some options, and it is up to date. Gives you some gas stations that are open, so check that out. Let's get a look at traffic across the Bay Area right now, as you're going to be, also the Florida Department of Transportation, they just posted that they have been working with FHP to get those tanker trucks into our area to escort them to Tampa Bay. And DeSantis said that we're going to have fuel in our area as well. So don't give up. You'll have time to get out. Here's what it looks like right now. I-75 is a big old mess right now for about 20 miles from Tampa through Pasco County. Once you're getting past Pasco, looks great. I-4 looks better. And then also our bridges are up to speed. Here's what I-75 looks like. But the rest of our Bay Area looking okay. Only place I am seeing slowdowns along I-4's eastbound once you're getting out of Polk County. This morning, first responders like those in Manatee County are warning people in evacuation zones to leave now before it's too late. Already, we've just been telling you about so many people on the roadways, and even with all those people and those people trying to get on the roads, those people trying to get out this morning at TPA, we have some options for you. Joining us right now is Nick Volturo, 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Volturo, with more on what you need to pack in your car if you're trying to get out this morning. Hi, Nick. I see you're at a gas station. Do they have gas there?
Sarah, that's a great point, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we actually look to put gas in our own car, and we're seeing a lot of yellow tape, a lot of caution tape over in the background with those gas pumps completely dry. And you mentioned it, I-75, I-4. We saw traffic backed up for miles and miles yesterday, dead stop. We were just on the road. We're just on I-4. We're in Plant City right now, and there was a major slowdown. So a lot of that traffic is starting to move slow. And it's only 6 o'clock in the morning, so now that traffic's moving slow, it's only going to get worse and worse. And with so many people in a mandatory or voluntary evacuation issues throughout Tampa Bay, they're trying to get out, right? And if you're trying to get out, you want to have some different items packed in your car that you need to have, right? So we always want to have at least a gallon of water per person, right, in your household. You want to have at least 1 gallon. We have several of these cases of water. You want to make sure you have batteries in case the power goes out. You want to have flashlights. You want to have things you can power. You want to also have those chargers. They can mobilely charge your phone in case you're dealing with power outages, which should be an issue widespread with this storm coming. You also want to make sure you have things like this, MRE meals, right? All you have to do is pour some water in there, and you have a meal for the day. Lots of protein, all your nutrients, everything you need. The other thing that's really important, they always want to keep with you, that we keep in the car right here, is a first aid kit, right? Gauze, bandages, some aspirin. Want to make sure you have these type of things with you in the car if you're getting out, and make sure you still have time to leave. If you haven't left yet, this is a good time to do it. Traffic's slow, but it's not gridlock yet. So if you have the chance to get out, this is the perfect time. For right now, reporting in Plant City, Nick Voltero, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Nick, thank you. And right now it is a race against time. For those of you who have decided to stay and ride out this storm, you may still have some basic supplies you need to get.
Yeah, those have been tough to find too, but you may have a hard time this morning. 10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean live from a local shelter in Tampa with an update on local grocery store hours today. Jenny.
Yeah, good morning, Caitlin and Jameson. And, hopefully most of everybody watching has done a lot of their preparation in advance. They've gotten their supplies that they need. They know where they're going to be. If you are still wavering and you're kind of in that last minute anxiety, seeing the forecast, you need a shelter. There are shelters open all across the Tampa Bay area and all of our counties. Of course, we have lists. This is Irwin Technical College. It is a special needs shelter. But even if you're going to a shelter, you gotta take your own basic supplies. They are not, able to provide something for everyone. Now, they will have certain items on hand, but it's really important that you head to the grocery store. But I can tell you, I want to show you some video and some pictures that people have sent in to us from just last night. And this is what it looks like locally. Grocery store shelves are empty, particularly bottled water, gone. The fresh bread, canned goods, all the things that you can eat that you don't need electricity for, those things are hard to find. A lot of snacks. Now, stores are restocking, and a lot of stores are planning to reopen today. We do know that most public stores, while their hours can vary depending on the location, tell us that they will be open, most of them in this area, till about 3 o'clock today. And so whatever they happen to have left or were able to restock, get out this morning. Hopefully you can get those last few items that you need. Of course, we have that listed on our website. Walmart, Target stores also kind of watching the forecast, also planning to be open today, but of course they may start closing down later this afternoon and this evening as well. As many of them have employees that live here that also need to take shelter, hunker down for the storm, so they don't, of course, want a bunch of people on the roads as this storm takes effect. So, think about it. Publix, Walmart, Target, some of your grocery stores should be open until early this afternoon, but they are going to be modifying hours, and if things change, of course, those opening and closing times could change as well. Caitlin?
All right, thanks, Jenny. And I know we've been talking about gas as well, as a lot of people are trying to evacuate the area. Many people are struggling to find that as well. Are stations getting a new supply today?
So we are told by the governor that the state does have a healthy supply of gas, and we are continuing to get a supply of gas coming into the state. He said yesterday that there is thousands of gallons of gas and diesel fuel that is being delivered. So hopefully, if you're having trouble finding gas, maybe you've decided you want to evacuate, but maybe you don't have enough gas to go get where you need to go. Hopefully, keep an eye out. We do have the Gas Buddy gas tracker on our website, 10tampabay.com, or our free 10 Tampa Bay app. You can kind of keep an eye on that, and hopefully as gas stations get more gas, you'll be able to figure out where that is, keep checking it, run out, get the gas that you need, whether it's to drive, whether it's to fill your car or to fill your generator. But that's going to be the best place to be able to direct you to find gas, because you don't really want to keep driving around to each gas station because you're wasting gas that way too. So it's best to kind of know ahead of time before you leave where you can find that gas, because we know it has been tough. Live in Tampa, Jenny Dean, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Jenny, thank you. As all of us are bracing for Hurricane Milton right now, and as Amanda mentioned, the storm weakening to a Category 4 overnight. Here's a look at the preparations being made across Tampa Bay and our state. Strong winds and waves battered Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula overnight as Hurricane Milton barrels towards our west coast.
If they have called for your evacuation order, I beg you, I implore you to evacuate.
Heavy highway traffic Monday showed that many Floridians are heeding those warnings, with a deadly storm surge as high as 15 feet forecast for some areas. Those planning to ride out the storm lined up for hours to fill sandbags.
With the last storm, we got flooded, so it's all about prepping this time.
Also to buy gasoline and dwindling supplies at stores, where some shelves are already empty.
A lot of people is like going crazy buying stuff.
We need as much of this debris picked up as possible. This creates a safety hazard.
The state has also set up a base camp at Tropicana Field with 10,000 beds set up for emergency workers. And all 7 of our coastal counties from Citrus to Sarasota are under mandatory evacuation orders in some of the zones.
Well, right now, the city of Tampa is trying to dispel rumors that it's going to shut down its water service. The city says crews will remain at the Tippin water treatment plant during Hurricane Milton. According to the city, the plant has several backup systems in place, but as with any storm, you should still have extra water on hand right now in case the water does go out. Remember, you need 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days.
Time now 6:10, happening in less than 3 hours. We expect an update from Governor Ron DeSantis on the state's preparedness ahead of Hurricane Milton. The governor's update is happening at 7:45 this morning. In Tallahassee, several state officials, including the Secretary of FDOT and the Director of Highway Safety, will join him.
It's 6:10 right now. Many of you will need to be ready to file insurance claims.
In just 3 minutes, we verify what you need to know.
And taking a live look at Milton's track right now, 10 Tampa Bay, your hurricane headquarters, keeping you prepared ahead of this storm. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas joins us in just minutes with full breakdown.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature Stone inhibits the growth of mold and mildew and is unaffected by dampness, water backup, or even flooding. And only Nature Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall, get our locally sourced Erie Shore Stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional basement installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
I know. Do you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula. All right.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes!
Don't leave your endpoints vulnerable to cyber threats. Protect devices both on and off the network with CIS Endpoint Security Services. This service takes an active role in mitigating and remediating malware. CIS Endpoint Security Services doesn't just block malicious activity, it can stop an attack in its tracks. And because it operates at the device level, CIS Endpoint Security Services can track how an individual's actions resulted in the system being compromised so that you can prevent it from happening again.
Bypass Rental and Hardware is where our customers demand the reliability only we can give them. Whether you need a post hole digger for a weekend project or a dozer to build your business, look no further. Family owned and operated, serving our customers with equipment rentals and sales, parts, and contractor supplies. Call Bypass Rental for all equipment needs. With stores in Winchester, Richmond, Georgetown, and Lexington, we are never too far from the job site.
There is no fibre. So for many of these jurisdictions, fibre is not an option and is not going to be an option. Therefore, satellite is their lifeblood to the outside world.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
We've got traffic backed up big time.
That's why it's so important to watch 10 Tampa Bay.
We're going to help you get to work on time this morning.
Start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
Right now, so many of you who just started the process of filing insurance claims after Hurricane Helene are now getting ready to do that all over again.
Yeah, that's why 10 Tampa Bay's Miranda Parnell is here verifying what you need to know about filing claims.
Yeah, damage from storm surge and flooding had to be the biggest impact folks saw during the storm, and our sources emphasize your standard homeowners or renters insurance does not cover that kind of damage. You need a separate policy through a private insurer or FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program. And just remember, once you get it, it usually takes 30 days for it to kick in. If you didn't have coverage ahead of time, FEMA does offer assistance to people living in counties put under a disaster declaration. Here in Tampa Bay, that covers coastal communities from Citrus all the way down to Sarasota County. Now, keep in mind, that coverage is usually far less than what a flood insurance policy covers. Also, you'll want to be aware of scammers going door to door pretending to be contractors with FEMA or an insurance company. FEMA says they will never charge people who apply for help. Florida CFO Jimmy Petronis says if the prices sound too good to be true, they probably are. So take your time researching a company before doing anything.
These scoundrels will come in, they will give you a sales pitch, and the next thing you know, you have signed over an opportunity for them to file a claim on your behalf where they then reap all of the claim dollars.
Now, if your car got damaged, you have to file that through your auto insurance, even if it was parked in your garage or driveway at home. And you'll only get it covered if you have a comprehensive policy. No matter what you're filing for, take pictures and keep receipts. The more detail, the better. With your Verify, I'm Miranda Parnell.
Good morning to you guys. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here with the latest on Hurricane Milton. This morning, yes, the system has weakened to Category 4, but here's why. I want to give you the background on this system. It has been historic, the 5th lowest pressure we've seen, 5th strongest system in the Atlantic Basin yesterday. It dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours, meaning that it rapidly intensified to that Cat 5. Right now, we're waking up this morning, and it is over towards the Yucatan Peninsula, impacting Mexico, and also we see that it's undergoing something we call eye wall replacement. What does that mean? Well, it's when that weaker eye wall previously in the system is just starting to erode away, right? So the system knows that, and it goes, okay, well, let me level up a little bit. So it is bringing out a brand new eye wall. So this new eye wall is going to be larger and much stronger and make the system bigger and stronger just in general. So as this process is going on, we don't want to see eye wall replacement, let me tell you, but with big tropical systems like this, it's typical. So that new eye wall is going to be stronger and larger. But in the meanwhile, as it's undergoing this process, this is what's allowing the system to be weaker. It's going to be weaker for now up until we get that new eye wall. So that is why the latest advisory from 5 a.m. showing us wind speeds at 155 miles per hour. The system is moving now, turning to the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour, and eventually this turn is going to lead it to coming our way heading into later this week. So what we anticipate, don't be surprised. Do not get yourself in a tizzy when you hear that it's back to Cat 5 later on today. So in the next couple of hours, once that eye wall replacement is done, we know the eye wall will be larger and stronger. So over those open, warm Gulf waters as well, it'll become a Cat 5, right? However, we see vertical wind shear. Here's the key piece of good news. The vertical wind shear will help to weaken the system back to a Category 3 before it makes landfall somewhere between Wednesday evening into early Thursday. We think that landfall could be right around midnight on Thursday, and then the system cuts across our state. So this storm is not just for the West Coast. Yes, we're going to see the direct impact, but take a look at the track from the National Hurricane Center. It cuts right across, meaning that the East Coast will be impacted as well over towards Melbourne. That system will cut through there. They're going to feel the rain and wind, but we have the majority and the most severe impacts here. As Hurricane Milton from the National Hurricane Center's latest advisory shows us, the landfall potentially near Bradenton, over towards Manatee County, just south here of Pinellas and of Hillsborough County. It's going to cut across, and with that in mind, here's the major takeaway. We know tropical systems, the most deadly part of them is going to be storm surge, and the storm surge is the greatest and the strongest near and just south of the expected landfall, which in this case, that landfall could be near Bradenton, meaning the worst storm surge would be over towards Bradenton, Sarasota, and just south of there. 10 to 15 feet. This is life-threatening. This is potentially deadly. I want you to move. If you are in an evacuation zone and they have warned you to get out, go on and get out today. Right now is the time to do that. The models are getting in better agreement that the system is going to move right into our area, be a direct hit for us. Take a look. The timing in terms of bands of rain and wind, we want you to heed these warnings, get everything done today, because starting tomorrow morning, we feel the first bands of rain and wind moving through, and they get worse. Isolated tornadoes are going to be within these bands of rain and wind. This is 2 o'clock. We see a little bit of a lull from about 2 to 5. Then 6 p.m. into the evening hours, that's when things go downhill. Take a look at that landfall right around midnight on Thursday. But don't worry, we're going to continue to keep you informed, prepared, and connected and safe. Just do what you need to do today. Get out there now. And speaking of that, we have our traffic anchor, Sarah Rosario, to guide you out of this storm. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Amanda. Okay, so here's what I-75 looks like right now. We're seeing miles and miles of delays, more than 20 miles as of right now. If you were headed from Tampa into Pasco County, once you're getting past Pasco County, we're seeing a bit of a clearing. Earlier this morning around 5 o'clock, it was a lot better. We had an overnight crash that first caused the big backup, and now we're seeing it compounded by a lot of people getting out on the roadway. So now's the time to get out. Here's a look at all the delays we're seeing. This is northbound. Good news is that the Florida Highway Patrol is allowing drivers to use part of the shoulder along portions of I-75 and portions of I-4. I-4 is looking a lot better than I-75. Take a look right now. We are seeing some stop and go traffic as you are getting out of Hillsborough County towards Plant City along I-4. But other than that, a lot of green along that corridor as of right now. Getting closer towards the exit of Polk County, you're going to see some slowdowns eastbound. About 11 miles right now is what I'm tracking as you're getting through that area. Jameson?
All right, thank you, Sarah. Ahead here on 10 Tampa Bay. Airports in the Bay Area are closing in preparation of the storm.
And an update on the latest cancellations and delays out the door this morning.
As our community cleans up from Hurricane Helene, let us help answer your questions. From home repairs to food assistance and health needs. Visit 10tampabay.com/recovery today.
Sorry, honey, it's a work thing. Mine's also a work thing. I just need someone to cover my shift.
So is mine. Alan says your business vehicle is now covered with Progressive.
Protected 24/7, just like your home and auto.
Oh, that's great.
So dinner time's just phone time now?
Sorry. You know, I heard that ground turkey is the healthiest poultry.
You know what? Never mind. Just be on your phones.
Thank you.
This is crazy.
You know, with OnDeck, we could get a small business loan fast and order more equipment today.
Or Lone Falcon!
Lone Falcon, why? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and, if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
It's essential to know that you don't have to confront lung cancer alone. GoTo for Lung Cancer is here for you. We are your community. Visit goto.org today.
Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Oh, relax. You have to say it at least 2 more times.
Beetlejuice in theaters now.
For the record, voiceover guys, 2/3 to blame here.
Every moment counts if you're at risk or living with lung cancer. And anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. It causes more cancer deaths than breast, colon, and prostate combined. It can feel like a race against time. And while there may be moments where you question your next step, it's essential to know that you don't have to confront lung cancer alone. Through it all, GoTo for Lung Cancer is here for you. From screening, treatment, and survivorship support to finding the right care close to home, we are your community. As your friends, your guides, your teachers, your advocates, and your support system, GoTo is your go-to. Confronting lung cancer starts here. Visit goto.org today.
Good morning to you guys. Here is the latest track of what we have for Hurricane Milton. It is currently a Category 4. So as you're waking up and tuning in, here's what you need to know. The system has weakened from yesterday. Of course, we love to hear that news. However, it's only because it's undergoing what we call an eye wall replacement cycle. So the wind speeds right now, 155. What happens is that it's interacting with the Yucatan, right? So that land helping to weaken it. In addition to that, the previous eye wall, we know the eye wall of any hurricane is going to be the strongest portion of the system. That's where you get all the surge, all the craziest of the winds, right? So that eye wall was becoming weaker. And so the system knows this, and then it replaces it with a larger, bigger eye wall. In the meanwhile, as the tropical cyclone is undergoing this process, that's why it weakens. However, we do anticipate it to rapidly strengthen back to a Cat 5 later today and into the later morning hours. Realistically, we could have a Cat 5. So that 11 a.m. advisory possible. So don't be surprised when that comes out. We know it's going to move over the open Gulf waters. Use that as energy, of course, to get better organized and strengthened. However, vertical wind shear and drier air just to our north is going to help to weaken this system back down to Category 3 before making landfall along our area. And we do see that line from the NHC, we tend to not focus on it, but the direct impact, the direct landfall right now looking like it's just south of us in Manatee County. Wind speeds at 125 miles per hour. When that happens, take a look at the line for yourself, folks. You can see it's just to our south, and the greatest of the surge is going to be just south of there, 10 to 15 feet. That is deadly. That is life-threatening. So please evacuate now if you're told to do so. And if you are not in an evacuation zone, make sure you have your supplies ready to go because power is going to go out in some areas. Models getting a much better agreement. Take a look for yourself. The timing for the landfall. Let's talk about the bands of rain and wind. They start up early Wednesday morning. We're talking about 7, 8 a.m. We start to see the first bands of rain and wind. Isolated tornadoes are going to be embedded in this. And we see the landfall will be somewhere around midnight. This would be midnight on Thursday. So late Wednesday into Thursday is what we're seeing. This is some of the potential in terms of the surge. Do you see this? Over towards the Gandy, actually where our station is, we have to evacuate ourselves because we have potentially up to 9 feet of water we could be seeing. All that red is dangerous. So if you're anywhere located in this area, you want to evacuate now.
All right, thank you, Amanda. Keeping you connected ahead of the storm, but what happens when there's no Wi-Fi or cell service?
Just ahead at 6:30, an easy hack that you can do right now so you can make important calls during the hurricane.
10 Tampa Bay's Storm Recovery Special.
We're here to get you the help you need.
From insurance to FEMA, electrical, and more. Stream it today on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature Stone inhibits the growth of mold and mildew and is unaffected by dampness, water backup, or even flooding. And only Nature Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall, get our locally sourced Erie Shore stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional basement installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Get the things you love without using credit. Acima Leasing makes it possible to shop at thousands of retailers with instant approval to lease up to $5,000 in furniture, appliances, electronics, tires, and so much more. With flexible payments conveniently scheduled with your payday. Shop today with Acima Leasing.
It's essential to know that you don't have to confront lung cancer alone. Go-To for Lung Cancer is here for you. We are your community. Visit goto.org today.
Cyber attacks exploit poor cyber hygiene. Unless you improve your cyber hygiene, cyber threat actors will use your weaknesses against you. Fortunately, the CIS Critical Security Controls can help. The controls are a set of prescriptive, prioritized, and simplified security best practices. Each control breaks down into safeguards that ask you to do one thing each. They're separated into 3 implementation groups, IGs, that help remove the guesswork around getting started. The controls have a governance function in version 8.1 for governing your cyber program. Download the CIS controls to strengthen your cybersecurity posture today.
It's time for Kentucky's oldest festival since 1794, the October Court Day Festival in downtown Mount Sterling, October the 18th through the 21st. Over 500 vendors with handmade crafts, antiques, collectibles, and a huge selection of great food. Check out the live music Friday through Sunday on 2 stages, thanks to Community Trust Bank. Catch a free train ride on the Rumpke Court Day Express. Find out more at MountSterlingTourism.com and October Court Day Festival in Mount Sterling on Facebook. Kentucky, come see for yourself.
Now I got it.
Hey, these are tough conditions. Case is going to finish the drive.
You got it.
Keenum, go time!
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
So Intelsat is now working with Marshall Islands to take them to 3G and 4G, which will allow every outer island citizen of the Marshall Islands to have access to the broadband, to be able to surf the internet, to be able to do transactions, their banking, and also stream entertainment if they wish.
Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
Thanks for sticking with us here on 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Caitlin Lockerbie.
And I'm Jamison Euler. As you're getting set to maybe finish your final preparations today, let's go ahead and get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Amanda Pappas. Some folks waking up this morning wondering what the latest is on the models there. Amanda.
Okay, so the latest right now, what we're seeing is that we do have, in fact, more of the system continuing to weaken. So what do we have right here is going to be a Category 4 right now. So with Hurricane Milton, what we anticipate is that this Cat 4, now it is weakening, but it's only because it has an eye wall replacement process going on. What is the eye wall replacement process, you might ask? Well, that is when our weaker, older eye wall, right, the most dangerous and destructive part of any hurricane, it now is going to be replaced by a stronger, brand new eye wall. So it's actually strengthening overall. So this strengthening process takes a minute though. So while this process is happening, our actual system is weakening to a Cat 4. However, heading into the next couple of hours, it will strengthen back to Cat 5 later this morning or later into the afternoon. Do not be surprised when that happens. It's going to interact with those warm waters. That helps to strengthen it. However, we got vertical wind shear that'll help to debilitate this system by the time it tries to make landfall as the Cat 3. That's late Wednesday into early Thursday. Models looking like it could be Thursday at midnight. The exact track, this exact forecast cone, the line, we never tell you to focus on it, but right now that line is just to the south there, making landfall in Manatee County with the worst surge just to the south there. So take a look. That landfall potentially again at midnight. The bands of rain and wind are going to start tomorrow. So please evacuate now. Get out now. You do not want to be here when this big old wind field is here. Look at that. Bam. Wednesday morning is when everything starts. So get out now. Speaking of getting out, Sarah Rosario, good morning. Thank you so much for guiding us all in this process.
Good morning. If you guys are going to be headed out right now, I-75 northbound from Tampa into Pasco County is a big mess right now. A lot of brake lights. Good news is there is some relief, although we are seeing a lot of congestion. Time right now is to get out. FDOT is opening the shoulders, allowing emergency shoulder use, and so you're going to see more troopers along the roadway to help you get out as fast as possible. As far as gas goes, gas is scarce all across the Tampa Bay area. You can use tools like Gas Buddy to help you find some open gas stations, but we know that the Florida Department of Transportation is guiding some tanker trucks through our area to try to help get those gas stations the gas they need so you can get out ahead of the storm. You still do have today to prepare for that. Here's a look at more than 20 miles of delays that we're seeing here for drivers along I-75. The good news is that the rest of our Bay Area really isn't looking too bad. You can take some back routes. Florida 511 is a great tool for that as well. You can see the cameras and we can help you guide you through that as well. I-4, we are starting to see some delays, especially as you're getting out of Polk County, but for right now, most of I-4 is looking good as you're headed from Hillsborough into Polk County, just the beginning portion of it. Caitlin?
Well, this morning, first responders urging you to get out now if you live in an evacuation zone. Despite that traffic, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and already we've seen an increase in traffic on our major roads, as Sarah was just showing you there, and even an increased amount of passengers at TPA this morning. 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Voltori joining us live in the passenger seat on the road this morning. Nick, you've been in that car for over an hour now. How's traffic looking there on I-4?
Yeah, you just mentioned it, Jamison. The thing is right now, is it probably the best time to leave because we know what we saw yesterday was complete gridlock, hours and hours of backup, and people are trying to evacuate and flee from the Tampa Bay area into safer territory, into the Orlando area. So I'm just going to give you the roads because we're on the road right now, just to tell you what it looks like. So we're on I-4 right now, and like you can see, traffic is moving, but you're starting to see a lot of those brake lights. A lot of people pumping the brakes right now. So while traffic is moving, it's moving at a slow pace. It's certainly not moving fast. Right now, it's starting to get slow. And we know the longer that you wait, the more it's going to back up. So obviously, if you're going to plan on leaving and trying to get out, you want to get on the roads. The earlier, the better. And this is I-4, so we're seeing more and more cars. At 5:30, it didn't look nearly like this. There wasn't nearly as much brakes. There wasn't nearly as much backup. But this is slow going now. We were going about 45 miles per hour before. Now we're down to about 38 miles per hour as we're driving here. So definitely going to be slowdowns. And like you were mentioning, the best time to get out is now. You still have time to be able to get out of this situation, to be able to evacuate, to be able to get all your stuff, get everything you need, and have our plan together so you can be safe and get away from the Tampa Bay area if you're in one of those mandatory, even voluntary evacuation zones. So we're keeping a look on the roads as we're continuing our trek toward Orlando. But like we said, you want to make sure you get out early. We know gas is scarce right now. A lot of gas stations we've been to had no gas, so you want to make sure you get a chance to use that Gas Buddy app, fill up, and get yourself on the road and to a safe place. For right now, reporting live from the road, Nick Volturo, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Nick, thank you. Keeping you informed this morning on county closures all across the Bay Area now.
Yeah, last check in Hernando County, all non-essential county government operations, they're closed today and tomorrow.
Now, heads up, Sarasota County residents, Breeze Transit, On Demand, and Siesta Key trolley services are closed today as well as tomorrow. At last check, regular trash pickup is suspended until at least tomorrow. All Department of Health offices and libraries are closed starting today.
Yeah, keep in mind here, this storm expected to hit on overnight into Thursday, so a lot of this is going to change. In Pinellas, as of right now, all city facilities are closed in St. Pete until Wednesday. Pinellas Park facilities closed starting today until further notice. All city offices, buildings, and rec centers are closed in Clearwater. PSTA office closures also start today. We have a county-by-county guide to closures, evacuation zones, so much more right now on 10tampabay.com. And again, a very fluid situation right now, so those will continue to be updated. In the face of severe weather, especially if you're riding out this storm, Wi-Fi or mobile networks, those can fail.
Yeah, however, if you have an iPhone 14 or later or a Google Pixel 9, you can harness the power of satellite technology to connect with emergency services or to reach out to your loved ones. To set up your iPhone, here's what you need to do. If you have it in your hand right now, open the settings and then scroll down to Emergency SOS. You tap that and then go down to Emergency SOS via satellite. Then click Try Demo. Follow the on-screen instructions to practice connecting your iPhone to a satellite.
And if you have a Google Pixel 9, you can access the satellite SOS demo by clicking your phone's setting, then tap on Safety and Emergency and click on Satellite SOS. You can follow the demo instructions that are there. Google says Google Messages need to be set as your default messaging app.
Right now, the city of Tampa is offering free garage parking for those who live in low-lying, flood-prone areas. The city says this significantly helps people who have an electric vehicle. If left unprotected, we saw during Hurricane Helene, water can get into those cars and cause a fire. The city suggests parking your EVs in one of their free garages on the 3rd floor or higher. Upper-level parking will be available on a first-come, first-served basis for garages on Twig Street, the Tampa Convention Center, and several other locations. That will last through 5 p.m. this Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of people learned the hard way during Helene. If you have an EV, do not leave it plugged in a flood area. Well, just like the city of Tampa, St. Pete is offering free garage parking if you live in low-lying, flood-prone areas. This is at the South Core Garage on 1st Avenue South. Entry starts now, goes until 5 o'clock tonight or until the lots full. Keep in mind, as of now, you are asked to pick up your car by this Saturday at noon.
Time now 6:38 next year on 10 Tampa Bay. Airports in the Bay Area closing in preparation of the storm.
I'll check if the cancellations and delays out the door this morning in just 10 minutes.
And all eyes are on Milton at this hour. A live look as the storm continues to move slowly through the Gulf of Mexico. 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Amanda Pappas gets you prepared in less than 3 minutes.
I know.
Do you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula.
All right. Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes!
Get a custom lip look that's true to you, with results that are smooth and natural looking. Keep it soft and subtle or go bold and plump. Results last up to 1 year with no maintenance. Learn more at Juvederm.com. For important safety information and to find a licensed specialist, visit Juvederm.com.
My name is Brenda, and I got Botox Cosmetic. I got treated on my forehead, my crow's feet, and my frown line. I'm so happy with the results.
Talk to your doctor about Botox Cosmetic and whether it's right for you. The effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
It's time for Kentucky's oldest festival since 1794, the October Court Day Festival in downtown Mount Sterling, October the 18th through the 21st. Over 500 vendors with handmade crafts, antiques, collectibles, and a huge selection of great food. Check out the live music Friday through Sunday on 2 stages, thanks to Community Trust Bank. Catch a free train ride on the Rumpke Court Day Express. Find out more at MountSterlingTourism.com and October Court Day Festival in Mount Sterling on Facebook. Kentucky, come see for yourself.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed.
The streets are being blocked off because of safety.
With live breaking news.
Turn yourself in now.
Prepared for the day ahead.
Good morning. We've got a mess out on the roads. Don't worry, though. We're going to get you around the backups.
And connected to possible changes. Make sure that you have a way to get alerts. I'm going to continue to follow these storms. I'm tracking them for you.
Weekday mornings, start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay starting at 5 a.m.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday morning. Just sitting here in the break, talking to meteorologist Amanda Pappas as we're all just getting ready for this thing to come on shore. And everybody's waking up this morning seeing where the latest track is.
And there are a lot of factors in play here. I know this, all is in alignment and where this storm is headed, but we have that dry air that could play a big role in this, and we kind of have our fingers crossed.
We have our fingers crossed right now. We're going to get through this. Me, Jameson, Caitlin, the rest of the team, we've got you covered. And we do know that right now the system has weakened. So if you're just waking up and tuning in with us, it's a Cat 4, not a Cat 5. Milton right now undergoing what we call eye wall replacement. So with that replacement that's happening, it's a process that most strong tropical systems actually do. When it's happening, it allows for the system to drop a little bit in terms of the strength. So it weakens while this process is happening. But it's not good long term because it means that the system then long term will become stronger. So eye wall replacement means the old eye wall is falling apart. The system then is regenerating a stronger, bigger eye wall, and that essentially means that wind field, the winds and the system as a whole become bigger. So don't be surprised when this system becomes larger as it pushes out into the Gulf of Mexico. But look at this, 560 miles southwest of Tampa. What does that mean? Good news for you. This morning, you still have time to evacuate and put your plans into motion. So it's moving to the east-northeast right now at about 12 miles per hour. Now, what Caitlin was alluding to was what I was showing them during the break. Look at this, and I want you at home to pay close attention right here. So look right here. This is Milton, right? This big old plume of deep tropical moisture, all this energy, right? And then do you see all this yellow, orange stuff we always talk about? That is what we love to see. It's the dry air, right? Along with wind shear. So this dry air is coming down from the north. This dry air, along with the wind shear, is going to help to debilitate this system as it tries to make a landfall for our home here in Tampa Bay. So what what we want to see is this dry air in the wind shear tear this system apart and help to weaken it back to a Cat 3. Even if it is a Cat 3, though, that's still a major hurricane. But we want to see that improvement. So what we know from the National Hurricane Center, the latest cone, that the system, yes, is going to make landfall here in Tampa Bay. However, as it does so, because of that dry air I showed you, it makes it down south along with the wind shear, so it would weaken it to about 125 miles per hour as it makes landfall. Nonetheless, this wind field is going to be very large. It's going to get wider as we go into the next 12, 24 hours. And that means that storm surge is a big problem. I want you to look at the track for a second. We always focus in on the cone as a whole, but remember, anywhere that we look inside that cone is going to be under the gun in terms of risks. But I want you to see this specifically. This is the line. The forecast line, the latest update for us shows us that this landfall could be anywhere in Manatee County, even potentially Hillsborough. So you do see Manatee County would be the one to get this. If this comes to fruition, that means that near and just south of the eye of this expected landfall would see the worst surge, 10 to 15 feet. That's double what we saw in terms of surge from Helene. So take it seriously, evacuate now. You might have not in the past, but now's your time to do so. Look at the track. The forecast track, along with our in-house model, they really are matching up. They're looking like twins, which is good news for us. Our in-house model has been doing great, meaning that Wednesday morning is when the bands of rain and wind would arrive. So get those things done, the evacuations, the final preps, get them all done today, because the bands of rain and wind are going to be the worst tomorrow. They really start coming and being very bad in our area. Things go downhill after 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Then we see the landfall potentially Thursday, right around 11 p.m. midnight, and then it pushes into our areas the Cat 3. Now, we do know that wind field is so large, so that all that yellow, all the orange, those are hurricane and tropical storm force winds. That means that there is going to be surge. Anywhere that you see in red is up to 12 feet, 9 to 12 feet of surge. We see that for Pinellas County, MacDill Air Force Base, also over towards northern Pinellas, Clearwater, Oldsmar. I'm talking to you guys here. Please evacuate. If you've been told to do so, do it. Newport Richey, down over towards Bradenton Beach, Anna Maria, you guys should be leaving. Get out now while you can. Sarasota as well. Please, guys, take it seriously. Here are your local impacts. Late Wednesday into early Thursday, winds up to 120 miles per hour, rain up to 14 inches, and storm surge life-threatening 11 to 15 feet. So the time to leave is now. Speaking of which, good morning, Sarah Rosario.
Good morning. So the good news is that you do have time. Yes, the roads are congested, but just go out and get on the roads now. I know you don't want to be caught up in that traffic, but the truth is, no matter what time you leave, you're going to have some type of traffic because so many people are with you on those efforts to get out ahead of the storm. This is what I-75 looks like. We had a crash investigation overnight, and that caused a big delay, in addition to everybody waking up this morning and trying to get an early start on the road. So now we've got miles of delays, more than 20 miles for drivers headed from Pasco up into Hillsborough County this morning. If you're going to be headed out on I-4, we're starting to see more stop-and-go traffic along I-4 as well. We do have a couple of crashes we're looking at right now for drivers as you're going to be headed through portions of Tampa. 41 is a good alternate route to 75 and US 301 as well. We have a crash on 301 at Causeway Boulevard. That's near the Selman Expressway. And then 41, a crash at Florence Street. As you're going to be headed towards I-4, most of I-4 is okay, stop and go in places. But then we also have about 11 miles of delay once you're getting to where? Champions Gate. That's any day of the week. It's now even a little bit worse right now. We're tracking about 11 miles right now, but still early. So still is a good time to get out the door. Our bridges are looking good. A closer look at those delays, but look at I-4 through Tampa. Not really too bad. I mean, it's busy, but you're not seeing like all those brake lights that we saw earlier. All right, and getting you up to speed on travel out of Tampa International Airport, officials say they do plan to close the airport at 9 a.m. this morning, making that announcement yesterday in light of the storm. They add TPA is an evacuation zone and will not have anyone there to respond to calls. The parking garages will also be closed. TPA adds you should contact your airline for the latest on your flight. And guys, St. Pete Clearwater International Airport says it does plan to close this afternoon. Lakeland Linder International Airport says it'll be monitoring the situation as well as officials will be making a decision later on today.
Yeah, and we checked the big board over 1 minute ago, over 300 cancellations, 7 delays at TPA right now.
Yeah, big impact here. And of course, a lot of people are trying to get out of Dodge, make some other plans, head to Orlando, other airports in the area, but now is the time to do that.
Yeah.
Still to come for you on 10 Tampa Bay, the clock is ticking to prepare for this storm and its impacts. We have the latest advice on that last-minute gas, groceries you need, and shelters that are open in just minutes. Don't go away.
Progress. Moving in a positive direction. We all want our lives to do that. Why is progress also in our name? We've always believed insurance should do more. That's why we've gifted over 1,000 vehicles to veterans, funded housing programs for families in need, and why we're working to make roads safer.
You're doing good.
And housing more fair. For us, that's real progress.
Get Nature's Stone and never replace your garage flooring again. A beautiful blend of natural stone or special epoxy, Nature's Stone corrects dangerous, cracked, uneven concrete and eliminates slippery puddles and standing water. And only Nature's Stone is backed by a true unconditional warranty. This fall only, get our locally sourced Erie Shore Stone for just 99 cents a square foot. Plus, take $250 off your professional garage installation. Call or visit naturestone.com now to schedule your free cost estimate. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature's Stone.
Security and compliance is a shared responsibility between you as a customer and Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS. AWS maintains the security of the cloud. The customer maintains the security in the cloud. A crucial portion of your security in the cloud is hardening your virtual machine images. For enhanced VM security, deploy a CIS hardened image from AWS Marketplace.
Now I got it.
Hey, these are tough conditions. Case is going to finish the drive.
You got it.
Keenum, go time.
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
Don't leave your endpoints vulnerable to cyber threats. Protect devices both on and off the network with CIS Endpoint Security Services. This service takes an active role in mitigating and remediating malware. CIS Endpoint Security Services doesn't just block malicious activity, it can stop an attack in its tracks. And because it operates at the device level, CIS Endpoint Security Services can track how an individual's actions resulted in the system being compromised so that you can prevent it from happening again.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
These storms will impact your morning commute.
That's why it's so important to watch 10 Tampa Bay.
I'm going to continue to update you all throughout this morning.
Start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Good morning to you guys. We have Hurricane Milton right now that is technically a Category 4. It's weakening, but it's undergoing what we call eye wall replacement, meaning that its eye wall, it's collapsing in on itself. However, it's generating a brand new, bigger, stronger, and larger eye wall, meaning that this system, yeah, it's weakening for the moment being, but don't let that fool you. It is going to be a Category 5 once again as we head back out into the Gulf of Mexico with this thing. So Cat 4 for now. It'll be a Cat 5. Don't be surprised, and it is going to come to Tampa Bay, Florida. However, we see that dry air to our north and wind shear are going to be our friends and help to debilitate that storm. All that orange that you saw there, that's that dry air waiting to rip this storm apart, and we want to see it weaken significantly. So we do anticipate it to weaken to a Cat 3, which is some good news as it makes landfall. However, it's still a major hurricane. This is going to be winds that we've never seen before, storm surge we've never seen before. This is going to be a catastrophic system. So if you're thinking about evacuating, do it now, especially if you are anywhere near this line. Look at the line moving into Manatee County. That's that potential landfall. The greatest storm surge, 10 to 15 feet just south of there for Bradenton, Sarasota. And we see that we have all the bands of rain and wind coming in starting tomorrow morning. So evacuate now. All ahead of that, we know that this system will be making landfall Thursday, potentially at midnight. And these winds are strong with this field. So take a look for yourself. If you're anywhere in these red areas, that's up to 12 feet of storm surge for you for Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, and we do see that the main impacts, winds up to 120 miles per hour, 14 inches of rain, and 15 feet of surge. Sarah?
Amanda, right now, biggest issue on the roads is congestion. You're going to run into that either way, and the lack of gas. Good news is that Governor DeSantis says that gas is going to be coming to our area. If you're having a tough time finding some, you do have time today to get out ahead of the biggest impacts of the storm. Traffic is already starting to build across our area. 75, we're seeing it really delayed from portions of Hillsborough County into Pasco County. Once you're getting to like Brooksville, Hernando County, friends, you're looking pretty good up until when you get into Ocala. As of right now, I-4 really stop and go, but not too bad. All things considered, compared to I-75, I-4 is looking like a dream right now, except when you're getting to Champions Gate, you're going to see some slowdowns. We are unfortunately getting a couple of crashes along 301 and 41 through portions of Hillsborough County. And then we're also looking at our bridges. Right now, all of them are open. They're looking good. Pinellas County looking great. 19, smooth sailing. Suncoast Parkway, great for you. Veterans Expressway, all good. Hopefully it stays that way. All right, Jameson.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Time now 6:54. These next few hours are vital for your final preparations. Emergency leaders say you need to get what you need by this afternoon and then decide where you're going to ride out this storm.
Yeah, find a safe place. 10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean joins us live from Tampa with some advice on getting gas, groceries, and finding that much needed shelter today.
Absolutely, guys. Really, the key is making those decisions right now so that you know where you're going to be to ride out the storm by this afternoon and you're there by this evening. Shelters are an option. This is a special needs shelter here in Tampa and Hillsborough County, right on Hillsborough. It's Irwin Technical College. A lot of people with special needs do pre-register, but they have special medical staff here to help those residents. There are also shelters that take pets and general population shelters. So that is an option for you if you are starting to get anxiety and if you feel like you need to not be at home. We have a list of all the shelters, of course, on our website, 10tampabay.com, because there are shelters open in all of our counties. You do need to bring basic supplies to the shelters, enough food and water for yourself, your family. Don't forget your medicines, your hygiene items, anything else you think you might need, snacks, games to entertain yourself. And gas is hard to come by right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you're thinking about driving far to evacuate and you don't have much gas, you're not going to have a lot of luck finding it. We do have the Gas Tracker app link on our website as well. So just get that 10 Tampa Bay app, download it to your phone so you have it right in your hand, and it can get you all the information you need, including tracking the storm. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jenny. The Florida Division of Emergency Management is partnering with Uber to help give Floridians free rides to and from shelters. Open the Uber app, tap account on the bottom right and tap wallet, then add promo code Milton Relief, all one word there. You can find a list of state-approved shelters now at 10tampabay.com.
10 Tampa Bay is here for you every step of the way. You can download our free 10 Tampa Bay Plus on your favorite streaming device. That's where you can find all the resources available to prepare for Milton and the latest track from our weather team. And listen, we're going to keep you informed throughout this storm. We're here for you on 10 Tampa Bay Plus and all of our social media pages. Even if you lose power, we're going to be answering your questions and bringing you Governor Ron DeSantis' address slated for 7:45.
And we'll be back here later this morning at 9 a.m. for a special edition of 10 Tampa Bay News.
Tampa Bay Brightside is sponsored by West Shore Home. Call for a free quote.
Maria Chumba, 10 Tampa Bay.
And in Manatee County, government offices are closed.